Scanning for audio.
Welcome to a Tin Dog podcast, number 154, talking about two Big Finish releases this time. The first being The Four Doctors, which is the Big Finish Subscribers Special, try seeing that after a few drinks, and also the brand new Fifth Doctor story, more of that later.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, free to subscribers only.
Something is causing time distortion to spill out into local space.
Oh dear.
It could prove catastrophic.
Not quite what I had in mind.
And I think it's being caused by whatever it is you've got in your inner vault.
Until our assault begins in 15 realms.
Welcome to the Vault of Stellar Curios.
I know the Daleks of old.
Exterminate!
The Four Doctors.
There's a certain trick to doing a four-doctor story. You only have 70 minutes here. Now the Five Doctors took 90. Now admittedly the Five Doctors was actually only the 3.5 Doctors, but we don't need to discuss that right now. Here we've got 4 accurate Doctors from the TV series. We've got 5, 6, 7 and 8. All of the Big Finish ones available for one story. Now, what do you do with a Doctor full story? You've got to pace it so that everybody fits in turn, but also you've got to work it so that it all well fits together. Do you have an adventure based primarily around one of the Doctors? This is how they did the 3 Doctors and the 5 Doctors. The 2 Doctors is a bit different, and Project Lazarus, well, we can't even go into, not without giving away, well, a couple of spoilers. No, here we've got, well, a different take on the whole project. The Four Doctors is actually about one of the secondary characters. It's not about one of the Doctors at all. You get the characters, well, I hate using this word, but you have to, their journey. You get their introduction at the beginning, their apparent fall from grace, their actual plan, and their redemption, all in one nice 70-minute block, with the Doctor reoccurring at various points in there and his time stream, all ready to fix what's going on. A bit like, not completely, the Big Finish short trips book Centenarian, where the Doctor appears in someone else's life. There are issues with multi-Doctor stories, which are kind of sorted out here. Primarily, can, say, Doctor 6 remember what Doctor 5 has done? Yes. Can Doctor 6 remember meeting Doctor 5 and Doctor 7? Well, not really, but how could he not? Can he remember meeting Doctor 7? Well, perhaps, but then his memory fades. But would the memory of Doctor 7, if he was in the same room as Doctor 5, just edit out Doctor 5? Thus making the timeline more, well, flexible? Yeah, that's the sort of thing that makes Austin Powers fans go cross-eyed, so let's probably leave it there. The technical aspects of this story really shouldn't be stared at for too long. Multi-Doctor stories are nice enough, and this is quite a good example of it. I've got no real issues, no real problems with it. And it doesn't feel as much like a celebration as, say, the 5 Doctors. Yes, it's got the Daleks thrown into the mix, but they're actually there for a reason. All of the things in this story are here for an actual reason. Even the Heavy Weapons Dalek, or Special Weapons Dalek, or whatever he was called, Jeff, makes an appearance. Like the 5 Doctors, there is only one scene containing all of the Doctors together, thus allowing the narrative to jump from place to place. It's all a bit, well, forgive the word, timey-wimey. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're a subscriber, you will already have this, and you will have enjoyed it. Last year's An Earthly Child, which the subscriber special then, is available to buy very shortly, so I'm thinking that this one will be available to buy very, very soon, or indeed next year. Not a problem. It's well worth hanging on for. I don't want to give away too many spoilers, so I will just say it's extremely well done, which is not what I can say for my next review.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The Demons of Red Lodge and Other Stories.
Doctor? Where are we?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Guards, take Dr. Smith to solitary.
What is this place, Doctor? It's huge, like a cathedral.
Welcome to Concordum, Nissa.
Please! No! Stay away from the curtains.
Hello, and welcome to this 25th anniversary DVD. My name's Martin Ashcroft, and I directed Dr. Demonic's Tales of Terror.
We're here to see Mr. Cooper. Perhaps you could let him know we've arrived. We're, friends of his. Musicians.
Look after yourself, miss. Don't look like the sort to end up in jail.
Seemingly not.
Geoffrey Belvedere Cooper, born 1941, was a reclusive guitarist working in the progressive rock field.
Oh, don't you look young, Sir Jack?
It was a long time ago. We all looked younger.
Except you, Dr. Smith. You don't look a day older.
Don't I?
I mean, literally, not a day.
I've had enough of being afraid.
My nerves can't take it. Please don't open them.
I'm sorry.
Hello, I'm the Doctor.
Whoa! Stop right there. If you're going to say Dr. John Smith, I'm going to be starstruck. Biggest crook on folly.
And that's a wrap.
Subscribers get more at bigfinish.com.
Big Finish release number 142, The Demons of Red Lodge. A fifth Doctor story, the fifth in Nissa, which, on listening to the promo, which I'm sure you've just done because I've inserted the file, I did think, because I wasn't concentrating, that this would actually be one big, slightly confusing story. I had no idea that it was actually a portmanteau piece, a bit like several of the other of the Big Finish releases. The individual 25-minute or 25-plus-minute stories, 4 of them, all put together, though not fitting together, to produce one CD release. I have a feeling that these came from the Big Finish Short Trips competition, the one that came after the Short Trips. That was the non-script ones. This was the script competition that came later. So I don't know how many other Fifth Doctor and Nissa stories there's going to be. Of course, I entered my lovely application, and of course, I'm not on this disc, which means I didn't win, which means I didn't go forward. But I will keep trying, and I'm sure one day I will get my name on the bottom of a Doctor Who book, play, or anything. But what about the disc? You don't want to hear my rambling. Well, it's not my favourite Big Finish release so far. Nowhere near as good as the 4 Doctors. It's not awful, by any stretch of the imagination. The Fifth Doctor and Nissa come through in spades. The characters are well established and well acted. I've got no issues. The first story's a little bit odd, but it does feel a lot more like, say, the Blair Witch meets Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It's best to think of these stories like Friends titles. The first one, the one with the Body Snatchers. The second one, the one with the Sound Monster. Now, Big Finish have done this a few times. It's almost, well, lazy. I know the sound medium is important, and you have to keep going over it and over it, because that's the nature of the monsters. You can hear them. I get that. We all get that as an audience. But having creatures that lurk in sound or are passed through sound and attack through sound gets a bit, well, not clever enough for this particular reviewer. In saying that, my idea obviously wasn't clever enough either, which is why it didn't get accepted. Shall I just let it go? I think I will. The third one is perhaps one of the nicer of the 3, and by 3 of course I mean 4. The third one is one of the nicer of the 4. It's set in a prison. The Doctor knows that some sort of time-based event will happen. There will be an explosion in the prison, and of course telling people that there's going to be an explosion has meant that everyone now thinks he's going to cause the explosion. Not particularly clever Doctor, is it? Being a short story, it does kind of all fit together. The last one is perhaps the cleverest of all 4. the DVD commentary episode, talking about a film made in the 70s. This one's a bit Nissa light, but you can forgive it because she's made a very good appearance in all of the others. This last one is my favourite because it's witty, it's clever, and it takes something that you wouldn't naturally associate with a Doctor Who story and makes it its own. That's what Big Finish is good at. That's what works well for me here. And so I'll bid you farewell, and I'll talk to you all very soon about something else. I just need to say before I go that I had a complete catastrophic system failure on my computer, and I lost Photoshop. There won't be any Whostrologies for some time, on the grounds that they were all done on Photoshop and have now been lost. So if you were thinking of buying a Whostrology, I'm sorry, but for the time being, until I can get things sorted, that just won't be an option. Remember, you still can donate to help keep the Tin Dog podcast running by clicking on the banner on the right-hand side of the screen on the home page. So until next time, be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Contact us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk.